Welcome everyone, and we will start this webinar right now. So it's our pleasure to welcome you to this joint webinar from Limagrain Ingredients and Solina. My name is Elise Grolière. I'm the Snacks Marketing Manager at Limagrain Ingredients, and I will animate this webinar today. So first, let me introduce our speakers for today. For starters, we are very pleased to welcome Céline Grison from Nutrifish agency. She will share her analysis on the healthy snacking context and its challenges. Then our speakers from Solina and Limagrain Ingredients will take the floor for the main technical content of this webinar. So for Solina, we have Fanny Legave, Category Manager for Snacks, and Virginie Vidal Leblond, Snacks Flavorist. And for Limagrain Ingredients, we have Anne-Sophie Godard, our R&D Application Managers for Snacks, and myself for the marketing part. So we created this webinar because of our complementary expertise on this particular field, and our mission today will be to guide you on how to meet consumers' demand for healthier snacks without any compromise on the taste. So with two case studies, we'll give you concrete examples on how to improve this nutritional profile, and thanks to both of our expertise. Before starting, let me remind you the basics of this webinar. You are all on mute, but if you have any question, please ask them on the question area of your screen, so it's on the right. We'll make sure to answer to them at the end of the webinar during the Q&A session. If we don't have time to do that, we'll come back to you personally after this webinar. The presentation can be downloaded all along the webinar on your screen. And as explained also on the invitation, the 50 first subscribers received 2 snacks samples. So please get them near you for the tasting session later on. We prepared a specific poll to get your feedbacks. Céline will now take over this presentation to introduce Nutrifish and say a few words about today's topic. Céline, back to you.
Thank you, Elise, and good morning, everybody. First, I would like to thank Solina and Limagrain Ingredients for inviting me to share this moment of reflection about how indulgent food and nutrition can definitely be compatible. Then let me introduce you Nutrifish, the consultancy agency we created 10 years ago with my partner, Émilie Chanceum, who is right there on the photo. Nutrifish supports all the professionals in the agri-food sector as ingredient suppliers, food supplements or food products manufacturers to offer a forward-looking vision of nutrition, taking into account both the scientific, the regulatory, and the market parameters are all fully necessary to ensure successful and sustainable innovation. We are based in the center of France, near the headquarters of Limagrain Ingredients, but we work all over France and also in Europe, as we are specialized in European regulation, and thanks to the Arcadia International Network we are a member of. In the past few years, we developed a strong expertise in current topics of interest in nutrition, like sustainable sourcing and the challenges to be met with plant proteins, for example. And lately, we also create specific tools to solve complex problems using design thinking methods like our Sprinting Up offer, which allows to build notebooks of new ideas from a process combining digital training and creativity workshop. And then we are able to test some of this new concept with nutritional added value in our own food lab in order to check their feasibility. And it's our NutriMaker offer. As you can see, we definitely have a real operational vision of nutrition, and that's why we were asked to introduce the topic of this webinar. So now let's talk about nutrition and snacks, and more precisely about the parameters to take into account for nutritional improvement. Indeed, it's not only a question of quantity of nutrient to reduce at the well-known sugars, fats, and salt, but it's also a question of quantity of nutrition to enhance, like proteins or fiber. But more of all, it's a question of quality. For example, for fats, it's not just to reduce saturated fat, but to reduce them in the benefits of polyunsaturated fats like omega-3, for example. So finally, it's more a question of proportion between all the necessary nutrients, with the objective to promote food balance in order to prevent metabolic disease, metabolic disorders like obesity and type 2 diabetes. And all the stakeholders today share a more holistic vision of nutrition, a more positive point of view of the nutrition, more than a dietetic or restrictive approach. And the regulation is supposed to go in this same direction. And for example, in Europe, the concept of nutritional profile of food was soon introduced by the regulation on nutrition and health claim, with the objective to restrict access to claims. I mean, to claims like rich in fibers or source of proteins. This restrict access to claims was supposed to be only for good nutritional products. And that's the point. What is a good nutritional product? This objective involves a synthetic expression of the nutritional quality for all the food, but for each food equally. And in the past few years, several models of nutritional profiling of food have been proposed at the European level. Only one should be retained, but none has succeeded. And for the moment, there is no final position. It lasts until 15 years now, but there is still no restrict access to claims. So, for example, it's possible to enhance the products because it's low in sugars, even if it contains a lot of saturated fats, for example. So, faced with this observation, several countries in Europe decided to develop their own approach, like the keyhole in Sweden, or the traffic lights, the well-known traffic lights in UK, or more recently, the Nutriform battery, quite close to the traffic lights, but in Italy. Likewise, France decided to take up the problem of front-of-pack nutrition labeling systems and decided to legislate at the scale of the country in the context of the evolution of its public health law. But unlike other initiatives in Europe, France decided to do it with the agreement of the European legislator, and mostly thanks to the result of the first study under real purchasing condition comparing several systems of front-of-pack nutrition labeling. And this study was in favor of the front-of-pack nutrition labeling system developed in France named Nutriscore. And I think that's why several countries in Europe, 7 to be more precise, begin to test the Nutriscore too. So in the future, maybe Nutriscore will not only be a new incentive to reformulate its product only in France, but perhaps it could be a parameter to take into account at all the European level. It's really interesting to know how it works, and that's why you will see some information about Nutriscore in the case study developed later. But further, it's interesting beyond these aspects to consider that now, so just a few words about Nutriscore, sorry. Nutriscore is a transversal system based on a nutrition quality scale, represented by a disc of colors from green, representing the good ones, and red, representing the bad ones. And the rating is made with 4 negative elements when the product is rich in energy, simple sugars, saturated fatty acid, or salt. So you can easily understand that to improve the negative rating, you can, for example, go from fats rich in saturated fatty acids, like palm oil, to fats rich in polyunsaturated acid, like rapeseed oil, for example. It's also possible to reduce the salt content, but it could be interesting to compensate it with strong aromatic notes, like you will see it in case study with seasonings. And for the positive elements, the option could be to increase the rate of fruits and vegetables, to increase the fiber rate, the protein level. And for all these options, for example, introducing legumes, reformulate with protein vegetable could be interesting to take into account. So we'll see it in case study later. But beyond this aspect of Nutriscore, it could be interesting to reformulate, but with interesting ingredients, with good quality ingredients. Indeed, nutrition nowadays is not only a question of nutrient contents, but also a question of quality, we said it, but quality of the source of nutrients provided by the food products. For many consumers, healthy is now also how the product is made and what ingredients were used. Because a lot of food fears, some consumers have lost confidence in processed products and the food industry. And so the clean label approach emerged in this context to respond to the quest of authenticity, simplicity for users. And as you can see on this interesting survey made by the Mintel agency, almost 62% of US respondents of the survey agree the fewer ingredients a product have, the healthier it is. And for 36% of Canadian female respondents, they agree a food is unhealthy if it has artificial ingredients. For the European part of the survey, it's, for example, 38% of UK respondents that agree they trust a product with a shorter ingredient list. So definitely, clean labeling has thus become a necessity for market access for manufacturers in the agri-food sector. But the problem is that clean labeling, for the moment, it's more a business-to-business marketing concept. It's more a professional term, not a term known or used by a consumer. We will rather express a quest for naturalness. And that's a problem because clean label is not regulated at the moment. For example, at the European level, there is no clear definition of what is natural or what is artificial, which leaves a room for interpretation. And that's why consumer perception is at the heart of the definition of the clean label approach. But with a lot of other issues that mix it up, like allergens or organic or GNO. And finally, it's interesting to note that consumers are emphasis for free-from claims and simple ingredient statements, and more of all for products without artificial ingredients. As you can see it on this interesting survey made by Mintel agency once again, it's interesting to see that truly it's a third of consumers in Europe that declare avoiding artificial in order to follow an healthy lifestyle. So that's the main point at the moment of clean labeling. But in the future, maybe this notion would tend to be even wider. You've all having heard of ultra-processed food products. A team of public health researchers in Brazil, the team of Carlos Monteiro, established a link between consumption of ultra-processed foods and chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes or obesity. They call it the NOVA classification, and the objective is to enhance minimal processing products as possible. But the problem is that right now, a real validated scientific method to determine whether a food product could be considered as ultra-processed or not, it's still lacking. Even if initiatives like the one developed by the SIGA startup in France to transform the scientific concepts to an operational method for the food manufacturer are really interesting, there is still work to do about it. But definitely, it will be a parameter to pay attention for in the years to come. And that's not to mention to take into account sustainable development issues too in one global health vision. I mean, formulate products for sure with natural ingredients, with nutritional added value, but also eco-design ones. What a challenge for the future. To conclude, it is clearly outdated to consider nutrition only through a restrictive approach with the obsession of harmful nutrients to decrease the famous sugars or fats who would be guilty, the big guilty. But definitely, it's really important to hold back that there is no good food or bad food. All it's most a question of proportion, portion of eating and frequencies. And definitely snacks are for pleasure. They are on the top of the pyramid, the food pyramid. And so nutritional improvement of snacks can be seen as the cherry on the cake. At least they need not to impact negatively. And if they contribute to cover nutrition needs further, it's the best. But it's really important without compromising on taste and texture. It's important to hold back that the best nutrition product ever, if it's not tasty, it will not be consumed. So it will not contribute to the nutritional intake. Pleasure is definitely part of nutrition. So no, I recommend you to do your best. Do your best for nutrition and pleasure for the future. So thank you for your attention. I will be pleased to answer your question at the end.
Thanks a lot, Céline, for this very interesting presentation. And I think it's safe to say that we are completely in line with what you mentioned about no compromise on taste and texture for snacks. But we have room to improve that. So first, let me introduce in a few words Limagrain Ingredients, and Anne-Sophie will present the ingredient solutions we have to improve your snacks nutrition profile. Okay, so Limagrain Ingredients is a producer of natural ingredients for the food and feed industries. We're part of Limagrain Group, a French farmers cooperative based in the center of France. Our mission is to highlight the natural benefits of grains and cereal, whether it's corn, wheat, rice, or even pulses. So all of our production processes that you can spot on the map on your right are designed to allow us to offer 100% natural products with various properties. So, and the command of our food chain from the seed to the ingredients enables us to be really involved from the grain to its transformation. So that's through these routes, through this cooperative, that we can offer a complete traceability to our customers and provide them safe and natural ingredients with full transparency. So innovation is in our DNA. It's from the trends of the market combined with our expertise in texture, nutrition, and naturality that we developed our ingredients offer. So you can see our main ingredients range at the bottom of this slide. So we have flours and grits, functional flours, bakery ingredients, puffed grains, and toasted ingredients, snack pellets, and last but not least, masa flours. So we've been building our snack expertise for over 30 years with a strong technical support and expertise, a thorough knowledge of the world snacks markets, and a large network of collaborators. So we work with equipment manufacturers, snacks associations, etc. So this slide explains more in details our ingredients ranges dedicated for snacks, starting from your challenges, very specific to your market and for your specific snacks application. So here we'll talk about direct extruded snacks, tortilla chips, pellets, steakable chips, etc. So all mentioned on the right. I'll give the floor to Anne-Sophie to explain more in depth our offer for a nutritional boost to your snacks. Anne-Sophie, up to you.
Thank you, Elise. So we will introduce you our ingredient solution to improve your snacks nutritional profile. So first, as you already know, we have a full range of pellets. In this range, some of them are low salt pellets. It means we decrease the salt level under 2%. And overconsumption of salt is well known to increase the risk of heart disease, so it comes naturally as a bad point in the Nutriscore. But salt is the most important savory and appealing note in snacks for consumers, but it has also an impact on expansion, for example, for you when you fry the pellet. That's why it is difficult to remove completely the salt in pellets formulation. Most of our low salt range is the maize-based formulation, with first the maize web at 1.5% of salt, then maize twist and pico at 1.3%, the mini hoop and the cornitos at 1.2%, the quadritos and gorditos at 1.1%, and finally the maize dip at 1%. The potato range is higher in salt, but still you can find the twist and the moods around 1.5% of salt. Last development, our wavy bean has been formulated to improve Nutriscore by decreasing salt till 0.6% and included also faba bean flour. Another way to decrease Nutriscore in snacks is to decrease the fat content of your snacks. Oil is part of snack formulation, but it's picked up during frying process step or when applied for seasoning or in a slurry to flavor your snacks. Consumers are used to light and crispy texture coming from the frying step, but as snacks contain about 20 to 30% of fat, it is a very important point to manage for people who consume snack every day. To answer to this health issue, pop snacks have been created and tend to develop on the market shelves. Consumers find this snack different as texture isn't as light and fondant as fried snacks, but they feel less guilty to eat snacks. Pleasure is mainly coming by choosing the right flavor from the matrix, where lots of different cereal and pulses are available, and obviously from seasoning. Limagrain has developed a hotter expandable pellets range, where final fat level is between 6 to 10%, depending how much oil you apply during seasoning process. In the maize range, you will find the quadritos, the web, the mini hoop, and the hexados. In potato range, you will find the French fries, the moods, and potato twist. Just to let you know that the moods and the twist exist in a low acrylamide version, as potato contain more reducing sugars than other cereals such as maize. For pop chips, we can suggest a micro pellets range made from potato, maize, or faba bean. They can be used at 100% or mixed with rice or maize grits. Maize grits that we also sell as Hominy H50. Faba bean micro pellet is also high in protein content, even more interesting for a better Nutriscore. So to boost your Nutriscore, you can add ingredients to improve the positive Nutriscore points, such as fibers and proteins. If we look at fibers, two ways to add some in your formulation. First is to use whole grain flours, as they include also the grain brands where fibers are concentrated. Whole grain is quite easy to incorporate in most snack formulation, especially in laminated snacks such as stackable chips, tortilla, and crackers. It will change sensory criteria of the snacks, giving different taste, color, and texture. Nevertheless, using our stabilized whole grain flour range allows to reduce some of these effects. The innocence range is stabilized. It means we apply a light heat treatment on the flours. This treatment partially pre-gelatinizes starch in the flour for better processability, developing hydration and binding properties, for example. It also decreases the enzymatic activity, especially lipase activity that causes rancidity, the microbial load, and reduce also bitterness from crude cereals. So no more aftertaste along shelf life. Brands are finely ground and proteins denaturated to avoid process issue coming from big fibrous particles or hydration competition between starch and proteins. We can suggest in this range whole maize, whole wheat, whole rye, whole oat, and whole barley. For the two last one, oat and barley, they are nutritionally interesting as their fiber content is composed of insoluble fibers such as the others, but also soluble fibers. These are well known for reducing cholesterol levels and increased satiety. A second way is to use directly fibers in the formulation with a lower percentage. In the first table, you will find wheat brands with 38% of fibers in two particular size versions, fine and medium, and wheat germs with 50% of fibers and 27% of proteins in a fine version. But to really boost your fibers content, you could use the maize fiber with 75% of fibers, the buckwheat with 70% fibers, the oat with 80% of fibers. Regarding maize fibers, two particular size distributions are available. The standard one, which is the 184-400, and the micronized one, which is the 184-80, that we advise especially for extrusion to be more invisible. Fibers have an impact on hydration level regarding process and generally give crunchier texture. Looking at extrusion, fibers are considered as nucleating agent, so they are usually used to control the expansion to get a more regular and better nucleation of the expanded snack. Last positive way to balance your Nutriscore is to add proteins. Limagrain can help also with its pulse range you can find in this table. Same as whole grain flour, this range is heat treated at different levels to enhance processability and functionalities. In a sense, red lentil and green pea are just stabilized, such as the whole grain flours we've seen before. So same properties, great taste, no bitterness or crude taste, stable shelf life, and low microbial load. Red bean, faba bean, chickpea, yellow lentil, and quinoa flours are processed through a stronger heat treatment. So it means they develop more hydration capacity and binding properties. In this process, we can granulate also the flour for better flowability, such as the TM40 range, especially suitable for extrusion. Particle size are between 250 and 630 micrometers. Protein content are from 12.3% in the quinoa up to 29% for faba bean and red lentil. But the most balanced pulse is the red bean, with 23% of protein and 90% of fibers. Regarding extrusion, faba bean is the easiest to expand, and chickpea probably the most difficult because of its fat composition, but teal can be used at lower percentage, such as 15 or 20% in a formulation. All these innocent pulse range is gluten-free. Now, how can you keep or improve your Nutriscore with seasoning solution? Fanny and Virginie from Solina will introduce you their solution.
Thank you, Anne-Sophie. Good morning, everyone. I am Fanny Legave, Category Manager for Snacks, and I'm glad to briefly introduce you to Solina. Our broad mission is to contribute to the production of food that is good in every sense of the word, delicious, healthy, and friendly for the planet. We, as a community of over 2,300 people sharing a common passion for food, make food matter. Our solutions cover all dimensions of food, being delicious, nourishing, affordable, convenient, but also sustainable. We design customized ingredient solutions for our clients operating in the food industry, the food service, the butchery, and nutrition markets. We are active on the full spectrum of savory food: meat, ready meal, vegetables, and snacks. We work with more than 18,000 customers from all corners of the food industry. With 29 R&D centers, Solina has close ties to local markets. Working out of sites in 17 countries, we connect with customers at a local level to meet their specific needs. Our solutions contribute to the production of food concepts that deliver on culinary taste, nutrition, and functional performance. With a deep-rooted history in the food sectors and decade of experience in ingredients and formulation, we have built up a unique expertise in snack. With our teams of chefs, flavorists, and nutritionists, we are uniquely positioned to deliver tasty, better for you, and also on-trend snacks, seasonings, and coatings. With our finger on the pulse of latest trends and our in-depth knowledge of the functionality, the taste, and the nutritional properties of ingredients, we design tailor-made solutions for snacks that meet the technical requirements of manufacturer and, above all, that delight consumers. We develop solutions for all types of snacks: potato crisps, tortillas, pop chips, pellets, extruded snacks, nuts, seeds, crackers, but also for all types of bases: vegetables, pulse, potato, and cereals. And finally, we adapt each formulation to the client's production process, from dust on, slurry, coating, or to in-doubt usage. At Solina, we make snacks matter with a 4 pillars approach. The first one is with our unique approach to taste. Why? Because 80% of the value of a snack relies on taste. More than flavor, we understand food. Hand in hand, our flavorists and chefs create taste with new flavor associations. They innovate classic flavor with twist to bring originality and newness. They translate the latest foodie current, ingredients, or recipe on snacks to offer consumer new sensory experience. Next to that, we also make snack matter with our technical expertise in powder handling optimization. Our in-house experts in rheology make sure your formulation is adapted to your process and provides a good adhesion on your snack base for a minimum waste. Then we put also sustainability at heart. We want to make good food, good snack solutions with great taste for the people and for the planet. Pioneer in organic solutions for snacks, with an independent sourcing, we develop solutions based on a blend of carefully selected raw materials for organic or origin certified snacks as well. And finally, we can offer snacks a nutritional dimension. We deliver the taste consumers are craving for while providing nutritional, healthy attributes to the final products. With 30 years experience in nutrition, a nutritional design center located in the south of France, we have developed a set of solutions to reduce sodium, to reduce fat, to enrich in proteins and fiber, to restore the fatty mouthfeel, and to improve the nutritional profile of the snacks while maintaining the full taste impact to guarantee the consumer experience. Let's now discover more about these solutions for healthier snacks through concrete case studies and tasting sessions. Thank you. Back to you, Alice.
Thanks a lot, Fanny. So yes, now it's time for the case studies. The first one we created together is a direct extruded snack made from faba bean and with American ribs barbecue sauce seasoning. So Virginie and Anne-Sophie will guide you through the development of this nutritional snack. Virginie.
Thank you, Elise. My name is Virginie Vidal, and I'm the head of innovation for snacks at Solina. With a quest of more protein and fibers, weight management solutions, better Nutriscore rate from pack, the market offers today greater opportunities to snack brands to use more nutritious ingredients, such as pulses, into formulations. Indeed, with their nutritional profiles, ingredients like beans, lentils, or pea are likely to attract health-conscious consumers as long as the taste experience is maintained. The main question of this webinar is how can we develop a snack that delivers both the taste experience and the healthy indulgence status with nutritional and Nutriscore benefits? Proactively with our partner Limagrain, we have developed an array of solutions based on nutrition's ingredients containing interesting levels of proteins and fibers. Let's see how we can balance taste and health benefits with the first example. Limagrain's faba bean direct extruded substrate with Solina's American ribs barbecue sauce seasoning. Let's look at the solution of the substrate with Anne-Sophie.
Thanks, Virginie. So you will be able to taste in a few minutes during polling time this faba bean puff snack. Just talk about it. The base is a direct extruded snack made with almost 90% of innocent faba bean TM40, 0.5% of salt, and 10% of maize grits. In this case, we compare the snack to a control formulation, which is almost all maize grits, 99.5%, and 0.5% of salt. We've chosen faba bean TM40 because it has the best pulse flour expansion, and we wanted to get a light, crunchy, and crispy snack similar to maize snacks. The snacks have been produced on a twin screw extruder from Baker & Perkins. At same process parameters, we obtain a better bulk density, 60 grams per liter for the control and 56 grams per liter for the faba bean, so a lighter snack. From the texturometer analysis on the graph below, we can see a difference in the strength needed to compress the snack balls in Ottawa cell. It means the faba bean puff snack has a softer bite than control. The shape is still quite regular and round, surface maybe not as smooth as the control, which is actually not such a bad thing as it should be more adhesive for seasoning. The gray color might not be as appealing as the maize color, but this can be improved by seasoning. Faba bean taste is more than present, but without any bad aftertaste or bitterness. The idea here is to find the right seasoning to get the best combination. Regarding processability, we use the granulated flour to get similar particle size distribution as the maize grits we are using, the 36.05, and avoid segregation during extrusion process. As bigger particle size, we improve the flowability through the process. The cohesive index measured by a texture analyzer, the Taxtopus, show that native faba bean flour has an extremely cohesive index of 29. Also, faba bean TM40 has an easy flowing index of 13. Nutritionally talking, the base of this snack is really interesting. We obtain 2 claims: rich in fiber with 6.9% of fibers instead of 3.9 in the control, and rich in protein with 29.9% of kilocalorie brought by proteins instead of 9.4% in the control. We have only 0.5% of salt and no fat added at this stage, so only 1.4% of fat and 0.2% of saturated fat. As you can imagine, both snacks at this stage are A Nutriscore. All the matter is now to keep it in A Nutriscore range, adding seasoning to get an healthy and appealing snack. Virginie, please.
Thank you, Anne-Sophie. That's very clear. Let's see how to build a seasoning that for this faba bean base that both retains the health functionalities and delivers on the expected taste. More than taste, how to make consumers mouth-watering for this specific product. At Solina, we have worked on 2 ways approach that are connected and interdependent. Our R&D team first looked at the nutritional and health aspect. In this specific example, the faba bean direct extruded snack base used for the substrate is rich in proteins, rich in fibers, low in salt, and clean label. It is important to maintain and not degrade these properties during the seasoning formulation process. Therefore, the formulation will take into account the following criteria: maintain the clean label attributes and health properties of the base, control the salt rate, define the adequate ratio between the base, the oil, and the seasoning, and maintain Nutriscore rating A according to the official calculation system. The first step is to replace the maltodextrin to maintain the clean label attributes of the final product. Traditionally used in snack seasoning as a carrier, maltodextrin are not positively perceived by the consumer. To ensure the continuity with the snack-based ingredients, we decided to use faba bean flour as a clean label alternative to maltodextrin. Indeed, the faba bean flour ensures a good flowability of the seasoning and has a positive impact on the nutritional profile of the final product in terms of protein and fiber content. With more than 3% of fiber content, snack brands can also claim source of fibers. The second step consists in using rapeseed oil instead of commonly used sunflower oil. Rapeseed oil is naturally rich in omega-3. Its use contributes to maintain Nutriscore A level of the finished product. The second approach is the formulation process is the taste. As we said earlier, taste is 80% of the value of the product. While improving the nutritional profile, it is key to ensure that no compromise is made on taste. Our mission at Solina is to define the perfect combination between the base material and the seasoning, the taste that will sublimate the substrate. With an airy texture, subtle grid note, our R&D concludes that the faba bean direct extruded snacks appears as an interesting aromatic base for barbecue flavor combinations. Drawing on our culinary expertise, our chefs and flavorists design a seasoning inspired for the core flavor in the snack industry, the barbecue. Twisted with the cooked note of a popular American sauce, the formula restores the salty perception and offers a new taste experience and flavor impact. Without deviating too far from barbecue standards, the natural American ribs barbecue sauce seasoning offers newness and originality with a real touch of America. Sweet, slightly spicy notes to dive into the barbecue atmosphere. This product you will be tested in a few minutes clearly illustrates the array of possibilities and solutions we can offer to create the new foodie healthy snack market. a new experience of healthy, tasty, and nutritious snacks, an alternative to Nutriscore D extruded snacks with a new healthy dimension featuring Nutriscore A front pack, and innovative and clean recipes with flowability performance for snacks manufacturers. I hope you enjoy the tasting. Back to you, Elise.
Thanks a lot, Virginie. So yes, it's time for the tasting session. For this first snack, we have two questions for the participants who received their snack box. So the questions are on the poll tab on your right. So it's next to the chat and questions tab. The first question will appear. So take a few seconds to taste the snack you received and give us your feedback on how much do you like this snack, and click on Submit My Vote. We'll give you a few seconds to do it. For those who did not receive the snacks, we precised in the invitation first that only the 51st subscribers would receive it. So if you want to have a sample afterwards, please ask us by email and we will be happy to send it to you after the webinar. I will just wait for a few more answers and then we can go straight to the results of this one. So for those who responded to this poll, you can directly see the results on your right in the poll section. Apparently, this one is quite a success between like very much and like slightly. It's kind of okay. Yeah. So thank you very much for those who responded. This product was quite appreciated. We can now go to the second question. So same way of proceeding. Now we'd like to know what criteria are the most relevant for you with such a product. So here again, you can tick your response, and here you can also tick more than one answer. So let's give you a few seconds to answer this one as well, and we will check the results just right after. Okay, here it's more a tie, but we can see that the taste is quite a hit for this one. Taste and texture are both the most relevant criteria for our audience, but that's what actually Céline said during the introduction of Nutrifish, is that texture and taste and pleasure, it's the most important thing for a snack when we are tasting it. So thanks a lot for these responses. So texture and taste are the two winners for this one, but then we have salt reduction and Nutriscore improvements that are quite relevant for you guys. Now back to the case studies. We will now talk about a hot air expanded snack pellets with a paprika yuzu seasoning. I will see you in a few minutes for the tasting session of this one. Virginie, back to you.
Thank you, Elise. Today, people are more demanding on their snacks. They are increasingly mindless munching being replaced with snacks that deliver beneficial purpose. While consumers are interested in healthy alternatives and in the low and no, meaning low fat, salt, calories, and no artificial ingredients, they are also concerned that taste will not compromised and a healthy option won't be worth the calories. The main challenge for the snack industry is how to provide the holy grail of great taste combined with the benefits of lower fat and calorie content. This is a question we have explored together with Limagrain as part of our innovation program. As a starting point of our demonstration, we have selected a market reference well identified by consumers, a corn-based pellet with a mini hoop shape. Labeled with a Nutriscore D, this maize rings contains a high level of calories, fat, sugar, and sodium. Let's go through the different solutions we can implement to upgrade the nutritional properties of this product and improve the final Nutriscore rating from C to B without compromising the taste experience and the consumer satisfaction. And Sophie, the floor is yours for the base solution.
Thank you, Virginie. So in this case, we compared the base of this maize mini hoop pellet through two different expansion processes, frying and hot air. In terms of sensory characteristics, we obtained two different snacks for sure. With the hot air expansion, we decrease the lightness and crispiness of the snack, and we keep a good crunchiness. The shape is well defined, but the size is smaller and it expands less. The taste is more concentrated, a less fatty taste for better corn taste. This kind of fried pellets with seasoning is generally a E or D Nutriscore on the market. In this case, we have a D Nutriscore snack. By choosing to expand this pellet on a 1200 compact bed reactor, we concentrate nutrients. That's why we have more fibers, 2.2% in the hot air expanded instead of 1.8% in the fried snack, and more protein, 7% instead of 5.7%, but also slightly more salt, 1.35% instead of 1.1% in the fried snack. So no claim, for instance. But as you can see, we reduce strongly the fat percentage from 22 down to 3%. Energy as well. This will allow to go from a D Nutriscore up to a C Nutriscore. A nice improvement on your packaging. But still we need to apply the seasoning, and you will see the major role of a nice and healthy seasoning on this example. Virginie, please.
Yes, let's continue with Solina's solution for the seasoning. We can make the air-popped corn mini hoop one of the consumer favorite snacks. How can we improve Nutriscore from C to B with the seasoning without compromising the taste impact? The solution relies on the ability to develop a seasoning that balances the nutritional and taste benefits. This means for Solina, drawing on a nutritional expertise to incorporate low salt, low fat, rich in fiber solutions while restoring flavor impact, fatty mouthfeel, and flavor release. First, we focused on the seasoning functionality, friability, and adhesion. The carrier plays a key role in ensuring the correct friability of the powder and the good covering of the substrate. It is also one of the options available to leverage the fat content of the final product and influence positively the Nutriscore calculation. For this formulation, we decided to use Limagrain rice and fava bean flours that provide excellent friability, adhesion, and dispersion of the seasoning on the mini hoops. The seasoning processability allows to keep the oil spray dosage at 6. Sodium reduction is another solution we can implement to improve the health properties of the snacks. With Solina's low salt solution based on naturally sodium-reduced sea salt, we can control the sodium content. Last but not least, the seasoning dust at 6% was also enriched in fibers, thus contributing to improve the Nutriscore final rating from C to B and reach a fiber content above 3% on the finished product. The additional health benefit source of fiber can be claimed on the pack. The final and crucial point is now to bring our expertise to deliver a seasoning that offers the full taste impact together with the nutritional benefits. What kind of flavor for this innovating snack base? Taste being key for snacks, Solina marketing and R&D teams invest a lot of energy diving into the global food scene to identify emerging trends, new cuisines and ingredients, trendy combinations of ingredients and spices. Based on these insights and on consumer preferences, our teams developed a subtle paprika yuzu flavor profile. Fresh and energizing, the flavor perfectly fits with the base product and offers a new level of appeal to paprika. light with zesty and slightly spicy notes, the paprika yuzu flavored mini hoops are ideal for a small hunger or for a mood boost. As a conclusion, with the seasoning only, we ended up delivering a full taste impact and flavor release to the new snack base while improving the nutritional values. In a nutshell, the seasoning improves the Nutriscore profile of the product from C to B. I wish you a very nice tasting. Back to you, Elise.
Thank you again, Virginie. So, thank you both. It's time for the second tasting session of this webinar. So you know the drill. First question about the appreciation of the snack pellets. We'll give you a few seconds to answer to it on your right. So it's tasting number 2, question number 1. Thanks a lot. So we can spot the first answers of this question with indeed more like slightly and like very much. So that's a good thing. Indeed, this product is very particular with the hot air expansion of the pellets. We are less used to these types of pellets. That's why the texture is a bit more crunchy and strong. So let's move to the second question about the criteria you feel the most relevant for you in such a snack. Again, you can tick more than one answer on this one. So it's tasting 2, question 2. And thanks a lot. So indeed, we can see that taste and texture, again, are the most preferred criteria of this snack. But in third position, we have the fat reduction. So indeed, that's the whole point of this hot air expansion, that and also the seasoning that is used after, that will improve this one. So thanks to everyone. We hope you enjoyed this tasting session. And thanks again for these feedbacks. To conclude this tasting session, Céline from Nutrifish will add a few words. Céline, back to you.
Thank you, Elise, and thank you for this case studies and degustation. It was really pleasant. And as you can see, these examples of reformulation totally answer the consumer expectation for healthy snacks, both with nutritional improvement, for example, with fibers or more protein content, and in a clean label approach too. And definitely solution exists with a good mastery of formulation and ingredients, like the use of legumes or changing of oil for seasoning, like sunflower oil. But we saw it, definitely without compromising on taste and texture. It's really important to pay attention for consistency between matrix and seasoning, using the right ingredients with the right nutrients. This consistency is really a key point, and pleasure stay the main researching for snacks products. So we need to pay attention to this topic.
Thanks a lot, Céline. Okay, so thanks to all of you for this case study and the responses we have with the tasting session. We can now move to the Q&A session. So I just saw that we have several questions on the questions tab. A first question could be for you, Céline, about the interest. Is there an interest of combining Nutriscore A and a health or more nutritional claim? Is it relevant for the snacks?
Especially for the snacks. First, I will say that I think nutritional claims, to begin, nutritional claims could be really interesting to display, even if the product reaches an A Nutriscore rating, for example, because it depending on the country, because of, as we've seen, some European countries that don't use Nutriscore for the moment, or other front of pack nutrition labeling system either. So it could be interesting to bring to the knowledge of consumers about nutrition bias and nutritional claims. And also it depends on the consumer targeted by the products. Also because some of them are sensitive to the fiber content for satiety or weight management, for example, while others will search for proteins because they are doing a lot of ports, for example. So it depends a lot, depending the country, the type of consumers, the type of products, definitely. And that's without counting on health claims too, not nutritional, but health claims. And indeed, it is possible to go further, but if it's really relevant for snacks, for some kind of products like snacks that are not strictly necessary in the food balance, we are not supposed to eat a lot of quantities or really often this kind of products. So maybe not health claim, but nutritional claims could be a good option. Yeah.
Thank you, Céline. Okay, I see that we have just arrived to the 1 hour timing of this webinar, but we can take a few more questions. There is one about the shelf life. Is there any effect on shelf life by using fava bean flour? And Sophie, maybe you can take this one.
Yes, of course. So, sorry. So, as I explained during the presentation, we apply a heat treatment on the fava bean flour. So it means that you don't have any rancidity development along shelf life of the flour. Moreover, you will apply probably heat step in the process to make your snack. So normally, if it's well cooked, you shouldn't have any overtaste or aftertaste developed during the shelf life. And as I say, as an example, when we do some of our trials, we keep the fava bean balls, for example, for 1 year. So of course, in 1 year, the texture gets a little bit different, but the taste is still the same. So really for extrusion, as an example, we have no issue for rancidity.
Thank you, Anne-Sophie. We have another question more for the Solina's team. Is paprika yuzu flavoring available in organic version?
Actually, we don't have exactly paprika yuzu flavoring in organic, but we definitely have a paprika lemon. Yes.
Thank you, Virginie. We can take one more question, and after we will stop this webinar, and we'll come back to you personally if you have more questions after. I saw red lentil, green pea, chickpea are available in organic version. Also in baby grade. Thank you. Maybe Anne-Sophie, you can take this one.
So sorry, I heard that you were asking that green pea, red lentil, and chickpea are available in organic. This is yes, the question. And after I didn't heard about.
Is it also available in baby food grade? I think.
Oh, okay. Not actually. But as I say, for the fava bean in organic that we don't have also, even if we don't have in the range, you can contact your Limagrain contact and we can make a study. And in this case, we will be able to answer to you if we are able to do it or not, depending the volumes we can have also in the demand.
Okay, great. Thank you, Anne-Sophie. Okay, we can stop this Q&A session. Thank you all for your attention. We hope you enjoyed this first time joint webinar between Solina and Limagrain Ingredients team. It was really really good to work together on this specific topic. So thanks again to all of our speakers, and thank you, Céline, also for this nice introduction about this topic. So you will be able to watch the record of this webinar later on Lemongrain Ingredients YouTube channel, but also we can send to you the link after that. Have all a great day, and we will see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.